So we're starting into our next unit. We're going into Unit 4, which is taking us into the algebra portion of our class. So today we're going to talk about some terms that you probably already know, but we're going to be talking about algebraic terms, and what I mean by that is what we call equations or what we call our terms. So we're going to talk about binomials, trinomials, monomials, and polynomials. So let's start off with monomial. So what you might know from other classes is that mono means one. Okay, so think back to your science class, you may have heard that. A monomial is an algebra expression that has only one term. So an example might be 4x. That's a monomial. You also might get 7y to the fourth. That's a monomial. It doesn't add or subtract to anything, it is just one term. Now, a binomial, if you think about bi, you've probably seen that prefix before. Bi means two. So a binomial is an expression that has two terms, exactly two terms. So some examples of binomials are 2x plus 3. That's a binomial. Also, make another one up, 4y to the fourth plus 7x. That's still a binomial. It has two terms. Now, by now, you're catching on. Trinomial, three terms. Now, what you usually see with trinomials and what you're going to see most in this class is like this. X squared plus 4x plus 2. Or y squared minus 3y plus 7. And then finally, polynomial. Now, we talk about polynomials as basically, it can refer to anything over a monomial. You can refer to a binomial as a polynomial. You can refer to a trinomial as a polynomial. And generally, anything above trinomial we call a polynomial. So it could be, just give an example, 4x to the fourth minus 3x to the third plus 2x minus 4. Okay, so that has four terms, so we would generally refer to that as a polynomial. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to be talking about how to add polynomials. And you're not going to have any trouble with this because you've been doing this for a long time. When you are adding polynomials, all you are doing is adding like terms. Now, you've been doing this to simplify equations for a long time. So here you'll see our problem. We have two polynomials. Our first one, 2x squared plus 3x plus 4y, and the second one is negative 7x squared minus 4x minus 4. So we're going to add our like terms. Okay? Now, we can do this by just looking at them, and a lot of you are going to be able to just look at them, but a really good way to help you with this is to line them up one on top of the other. So I'm going to do that way so that everybody can see it. 2x squared plus 3x plus 4y. It comes first, so I'm putting it on top. Now I'm going to take the terms from my second polynomial and I'm going to line them up underneath the like terms of the first polynomial. So first I've got my negative 7x squared. Well, I'm going to line it up under my 2x squared. So negative 7x squared, because those are like terms. Next I've got my negative 4x. That's going to go underneath my 3x. And then I've got this negative 4 right here. Well, it doesn't have a like term. So I got to think about this for a second. What am I going to do with it? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it out to the side. And I'm going to put a 0 above it for a placeholder. And you'll notice that 4y doesn't have one, so I'm going to put a 0 under it for a placeholder. Now I go through and I add each of my terms. So 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5x squared. Remember, the variable doesn't change. Minus 1x plus 4y is 4 plus 0 is just 4. And then 0 plus negative 4 is minus 4. That is adding my polynomials. Now subtracting polynomials is more difficult, but we're going to start it the same way. We're going to set them up one on top of the other. So 3m squared plus 4m minus 7. Now remember, you have to put the first one in front for subtracting because we're subtracting 3m squared plus 4m minus 7, subtracting negative 4m squared plus 3m minus 6. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up. I'm going to put my negative 4m squared, my plus 3m, and then I've got this minus 6 that's going to go here. Okay, but when you're subtracting, you've got two options. Okay, you can either use your calculator to subtract, go through, and you can, I'm going to change colors, you can put a subtraction sign at each term, just like this. And I can do 3 minus negative 4. Well, that's positive 7. So 7m squared. And then positive 4 minus positive 3 is 1. So plus, I don't have to write the 1. And then negative 7 minus negative 6, that's negative 1. Another way you can do this, I'll rewrite it real quick. 3m squared plus 4m minus 7, or negative 4m squared plus 3m minus 6. The other way that you can do this is you can go through and change all of the signs of your second equation. I can go through and I can change my negative 4 to a positive. Let me change colors. To a positive 4. I can change my positive 3 to a negative 3, and I can change my negative 6 to a positive 6, and I can add them like this. 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1. Those are the ways you can add and subtract polynomials. Make sure you go answer the questions.